Good morning, Night City Cardcast. Today we are looking at our top 10 favorite cards from the first set of Cyberpunk TCG. Welcome to Night City. Now, we are still missing some last minute spoilers, some cards that we have not seen yet, but we thought it was a great time to take a look at basically most of all the cards that we've seen so far and pick out our favorite ones. Now, we've chosen these secretly and independently without sharing them with each other ahead of time or discussing any specific criteria for ranking. So when we get to our main phase, this will actually be the first time that we've seen each other's picks as we justify and defend them. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We need to get right into our draw step and start chatting about that. All right, what do we got here?
Yeah. So I was pretty intrigued by this article. It came out Friday, so we missed it by just a little bit to talk about last time. But it goes on to discuss accessibility versus collectability, you know, trying to balance that line of people need cards to play with, but also having cards that feel worth collecting and trading. And I think maybe most importantly, because LGS stores are going to be the lifeblood of this game, having product that stores want to carry. I know that some card games, not to name any names, have had issues with product just not selling because it's just not interesting enough. And so how do you toe that line? How do you get people to have the cards they need, but without having everything be not worth carrying? And so the big point that they make that I want to talk about is, you know, reprinting cards, not packs. The idea that if a card needs to be reprinted, that instead of just putting more product out there and sort of like diluting the pool, that there are other ways you can handle it. They talk about, you know, promos. Obviously, we've seen a couple different promos already. My Rebecca's somewhere around here. I know yours is got to be on standby.
Oh, it's actually in my backpack downstairs. Because I always carry it with me when I go to a game store, and I had my Lorcana League last night, and it was in there, and it's still in there downstairs. So I'll have to grab that next time.
There we go. But you also have like supplemental product. You know, you can make theme decks, get reprints and things that way. Prize support, both on like a local stage of like your LGS prize support, and on like a more regional stage for like Night City qualifiers. And so there are a lot of knobs that can be turned. Excuse me. There are a lot of knobs that can be turned to get these cards in players' hands. Of course, with that sort of like tuning, it does take a little bit because supplemental product takes more time to make than to, you know, put more boxes to print. And so there is, you know, a little bit of a time. There's a bit of a waiting period for that. The other thing that I was really interested in this article was, you know, the fact that the game is, at least for now, very focused on LGSs and the LGS scene, which means that if you don't live near an LGS, it might be challenging to get product because you can't go to like a big box retailer, which is good for LGSs because it means that like if you want to play the game, that's where you have to go.
And if I interject real quick, a lot of that is also, you know, a lot of prominent names in TCGs, a lot of creators will try to say, you know, make sure that you're supporting your local game store. And this way you have to support your local game store because that's the only place you're going to be able to get those cards. When you're buying them from a Target or a Walmart or an Amazon or something, it's yeah, you're supporting the company that makes the game, but you're not supporting the community that helps support playing that game.
Yeah. It doesn't do the stores near you any good if you buy it from like a Target. They don't get any of that. And then of course when you go and play the game, you take up space, you use their services and whatnot. And so you have to go to an LGS to get the product. So you have to support them in some fashion. The other nice thing is no more Kickstarters. They talked about that was a one and done deal. So
yeah, and there was a lot of
stores don't have to worry about competing with the company themselves in order to acquire and sell product, which is going to be, you know, very impactful, especially when we get into set 2.
Yeah, that was a big kind of point of contention with some people early on that I had discussions with, where they were saying like, oh, it's just this Kickstarter game. They're just going to keep doing that. I'm like, no. This is just to combat scalping for the first set. And then moving forward, it's just a standard TCG release. Like they could have done a regular distributor release from the get-go, but without knowing, exactly how many people are going to want to buy it, then, I mean, because if they print too much and it sits on shelves and becomes kind of like worthless, then nobody wants to buy it. But if they print too little, then everything gets eaten up by scalpers, and then boxes are exorbitantly expensive. And so I think that was a kind of a really good idea to do for that first set, but I'm also glad that it's not going to be the norm moving forward.
Yeah, I like that. Like I said, stores don't feel like they have to compete with the company directly because, the company directly can charge a different price than retailers who have to go through like a distributor who also themselves have to go through like the company. So you're a few steps down that way, and we can safely feel good knowing that you're not up against the makers of the game themselves when you're trying to reserve product.
Yeah, and then for me, my biggest thing is they say right here, if we consider the needs of the players and the collectors together, both can thrive. So having a game that is both playable and accessible, but has these nice chase things. And we talked about kind of like chase cards, rare cards, special cards previously, where as long as it's just a cosmetic skin, that's awesome. Have some crazy chase card that is worth a bunch of money, but it doesn't prevent people from being able to get into the game in the first place because there's some more accessible version of it. So it's nice to be able that they are consciously aware of catering to both audiences.
Yeah. I'm always a proponent of a card should have an affordable version and then a luxury version if that's your prerogative. But the base version of a card should never be like 40 or 50 bucks. That, especially if you need a multiple copies, because that makes decks real expensive really fast.
For sure. All right. I think that might be enough on that. Do you want to start digging into our main phase?
Yes, because I can't wait to see what cards are your favorite, because as you said at the beginning, we did not converse at all in relation to how these lists were supposed to be structured.
Let's head over there now. All right. Now, I know we said 10, and I believe you made 10. But this is so our main phase here today is we were each picking our 10 favorite cards, and we picked them in secret, and we did not tell each other. We did not see each other. Now I have both of our slides up, but I hid the things, so I genuinely don't know what yours are, and you've never seen mine, so that'll be fun.
Not at all.
But you followed the rules and made 10. I have a couple of honorable mentions that I needed to sneak in there. And so I'll get through some honorable mentions, and then we'll jump into your number 10. So my first honorable mention is the NetWatch NetDriver. Because, okay, yes, it was my preview card.
That was my immediate assumption.
But it's not just like this, my preview card. It's also like a sweet card. And it's so like when I saw it, it was like, I'm sorry, this does what? It draws when you do everything. Like if you put it on anything, as soon as you spend it, you draw a card. And if you can ready it and spend it again, you draw another card. Like you could, the only thing I think that kept it from being like in my list and a lot higher is like the fact that you can't cheat it out with River.
Yes.
I could see a world, and maybe this discussion happened internally and they went with this eventually, but I could see a world where it's a 2-cost gear with +0 power and everything else is the same. And that, I mean, they probably changed it away from that because maybe that's broken. Like 3 is probably a reasonable cost for this effect, and the power is just like a bonus. But yeah, like how sick would that be to be able to cheat this out with River? Just, one less to cast. But anyway, honorable mention number 1. All right. Honorable mention number 2. Unlikely Bond. Which I believe was your preview card.
Speaking of preview cards, that was the one that I sort of took ownership of. That was the one that I posted on my my own feed.
Yeah,
I'm very, very fond of this card.
I put this one in here because I mean you've said very many words about this, but also just like, man, just to get rid of something useless of yours to take away your Placide or something like is backbreaking. And
absolutely 100%.
And I think the biggest thing here is what kept it off of the proper list is, yes, your stuff has to be ready and their stuff has to be spent, and it is a 4 cost. But I mean, again, I think if we were talking about, just defeat one of yours to defeat one of mine to defeat one of yours, or if it costs less, that sounds kind of broken. And so these are probably balancing acts that they had to do in development.
Especially because it's bottom deck too, so you lose all defeat triggers. If your opponent has played a relic on something,
Done.
Gone. The relic's gone. The unit's gone. You're getting nothing back. Thanks for spending your eddies. Goodbye.
That's amazing. I love that so much. Okay, so my very last honorable mention is going to be the card that I actually complained about, and it's Floret. Now, this was so
really
close to making the cut
here. I think
this is so close to making the cut because I complained about this card in I think it was our first episode. It was all the changes from the alpha kit to the beta kit and release, and I was so upset that this card got changed because it used to say it was bounce a 4-drop back to your hand.
Yeah, 4 or less back to hand.
Yeah, so you know, choose a unit and it goes back to the opponent's hand that costs 4 or less. And I think it cost 3 or 4 to play.
It was 3
to play. Which was amazing. Like I love removal, and it's unconditional. It's temporary removal, but it's conditional for cost, but it's unconditional for power. And that was like super relevant in the alpha kit decks because you had a bunch of like 4-cost units.
So many things
that were hugely powerful. The emergency atlas was a pain in the butt. The Goro Takamura was a 4-drop. And so those things, boop, back to hand. But this version of it, after playing the demo decks for quite a while, it is such a utility card. It's even if you have nothing else to do, it's pay 1, draw card. And with the upside of now your combat, if it was a tie, it's now in your favor and you win. Or if you were going to lose it, now you tie and trade. So, and if you have multiples of them, even better. But this, you know, it is an amazing little card. But we'll see what else we got here. How about we jump into your number 10?
All right. So
I love that you are age -10 with the
I am
Comic Sans
-10.
font.
I'd kind of forgotten I had done this. I'm not gonna lie. So I do want to first qualify that favorite is not inherently cards that I think are the best. Some of these are in here for more personal reasons, but I think all of them are good. I didn't pick any card that was bad, but I thought was neat. I think they're all good cards. And so number 10 was Mantis Blades, just a classic card. I kind of wanted to touch on this with Floret, which is that breakpoints matter. And +2 is such an easy way to make an 8 of 10.
There are a lot of 8s.
Something out in combat. There's so many 8s. There's so many 8s. And two of these is also a 10, and there's so many. There are even more 6s, I think. So this card is just so good at killing stuff if you need it to. It can be the difference in combat against another unit. It can be the difference in stealing 1 gig or 2. Worst case scenario, you can sell it. There's so many gear synergies that this thing can facilitate. This is a great card for Pan Am.
And it only costs 1.
And it only costs 1. It's such a nice, cheap, flexible card that, I mean, it's basic, but
it feels like an auto include.
That's one of its strengths.
Yeah, it feels like an auto include for any deck running red.
It really does.
Unless there's a really strong reason not to, it just seems like you're putting that in your deck.
Yeah, so if you're like all in on programs, maybe, but that's like the only thing I can think of.
All right, so my number 10 is, make sure I'm going the right direction here, Corpo Surveillance.
Okay.
So corporate surveillance, because I love cards that don't have an obvious use. And you think like, oh, I can, tap down your thing, spend down your thing, and then attack into it or something. But I can't tell you how many times this was used against me to spend a blocker and then sneak in like a giant attacker. And I love that because it's like, it's showcasing the theme and the flavor of corporate surveillance. Cause like, oh, I have eyes on everything. I've got this taken care of. And now my guy can sneak in. So just an interesting choice. But I love that it gets better the more kind of out of the box you think of how to use it.
Yeah. In the alpha kit, I was not keen on this card. In fairness, it only spent things 3 or less. And so
4 is a big number.
Was not nearly as versatile. 4 was a huge difference maker, and it still is, honestly. And so I'm coming around on this card a lot. I think its ability to both set up something to be killed or set up something to get through is good. And so it makes it a nice flexible card that if you have to, you can sell. And that's the hallmark of like a good program in my mind.
All right, let's see what your number 9 is. That was your 10. Your number 9 was... Okay.
I knew this was coming. I was very excited when you showed it off. I was like, yeah, I put it in here.
So tell me why it made your list as opposed to my honorable mentions.
Personal reasons. Because this was my spoiler card, so I had to put it on here at least somewhere. And one thing that we didn't talk about initially that I think is worth bringing up is that so much removal in the game right now is locked away to 2 colors. Like you have to be playing 3 RAM or higher for so many of the good removal spells that, spoiler alert, I have at least one more on my list. But like Bonnie and Clyde is 3 red RAMs, so you have to pay 2 red legends. And so also Les Elements that we also showed off, me and Tubin, is also, I believe, 4 blue RAMs, so you have to play 2 blue legends. But this card is 2 blue, so it is much, much more splashable. And that is something that I don't think we have a ton of right now, is splashable removal.
Yeah.
And so even if it is conditional, it's not conditional enough. So I think it still has a nice home in some decks that are like only on 1 blue legend. And
then also pairing it with that Corpo Surveillance, you just spend your other guy down that you want to take care of, and
now we've got a combo going.
That's what we call some synergy right there. Corporate synergy, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. That was your number 9. So let's see what my number 9 was. River Ward. So I told you I wanted to cheat out stuff using River Ward. And I was not on the river train until I was not floating down the river until we played your event at Gen Con.
You get to witness just how good this effect is.
Yeah, because I've been I've been kind of trying to take myself out of getting to every single card until all the cards are out. And so I didn't really get a chance to play with a lot of these cards. And man, just having
I'm deep in the mines.
Having River up is such a, like, it's such a mind game for the opponent, because you're like, well, you can just attach something that makes something a blocker. You could attach something that makes your thing bigger, so now it trades in combat. And just like leaving River up and passing is just amazing. It just feels so powerful. And even if you're not doing something crazy, you still just could, for value, just like put something on and then I'm just doing that for next turn. And it's the instant speed. I think the only thing that it was, when I was putting this kind of list together, I was like, oh, the River doesn't cheat this into play. Oh, River doesn't cheat this into play.
Yes.
So the 2 is probably a balancing act. But
I have been evaluating cards by whether or not River can put them into play, and that dictates how good I think a card is.
Yeah, and then it's funny because that first ability is so good, I always forget that there's another line of text underneath it.
Yes, he actually has more to do.
Yeah, and so so I put him on here just because it just, I love mind games with opponents, and I love just being like, I could do something, and you get to decide whether I'm going to, kind of stuff.
Yes,
so I love that.
Do you want to pull the trigger? Do you want me to pull the trigger?
Yeah, for sure. All right, so your number 9.
I'm on. I think this is 8. We're on Meredith Stone Cold.
That was my number 9. Your number 8.
Yes.
Okay. So your number 8.
Yes, Meredith. This is another card that in the alpha version of the card I did not like. And so this rework is massive. For one thing, she's just an excellent on-rate blocker, which is honestly my favorite part about this card. But she also gets bigger if she's fighting a Go Solo Legend. And we've started to see every color now has at least one. And I think most decks should be playing at least one, because it's a good recovery tool. And so Meredith makes it harder for that legend to get through. And then as an added bonus, if your opponent tries to mess with your gigs, you just get a card back, any card you like.
I know.
Like, I think this card is aggressively costed all over the place. It costs 4, it's 5 power, it's 1 RAM, it has blocker, it gets a +2. Like it nickels and dimes you all over the place, and it adds up to a card that I think is just really nice and rounded. And if you're like, I just need good red cards, here you go. It goes in every red deck.
That is amazing. And it's funny because as I was going through to try to build my list, I actually don't remember what I did. Because it was a day or 2 ago, and my brain, it can't handle things like that anymore. But this is not on my list. But I do very much appreciate getting stuff back and that extra bonus. But I now am curious because I don't remember what I put in my 8 slot. So let's head back over.
We're all gonna find out.
It's Placide. That's right. So I love the Titan series from Magic, the Grave Titan, Inferno Titan.
Yeah.
The Sun Titan, something that it's some big giant dude And when you play it, you get an effect, and when it attacks, you get that effect again. And Placide is just like, it's hard to kind of put into words because it's not just a big fatty dude. It's a big fatty dude that also just snipes your stuff individually. And there's no qualifier. There's no restriction on what you are bottom decking. Just bottom deck another unit. It doesn't need to be spent. It doesn't need to be a certain cost. You just have to have a program in your hand. And if you're playing this deck, you're probably loaded up with programs anyway, or you're drawing cards to have some spare ones to throw away. And so even if you don't get it on the play, you get to trigger that every single attack. And because Placide only has 2 RAM, you can splash him in stuff like green, for example, that allows you to ready things and do it again. So if you have multiple programs, you can be like, all right, I'm going to hit you, take 2 gigs because he's a 10. I'm going to ready him. Or
he's a base 10.
Yeah, discard, take out something, ready him with one of the million ways to ready him, do it again, take another 2, and then, to kill another thing. It slices, it dices. What doesn't it do? The only downside is he does cost 8. So, but we'll deal with that. Now I'm curious what your 7 is. So this was your 8, your 7. Ooh, tell me about this.
Live with the Aftermath. Another good removal spell. We talked about a removal costing 3 or higher RAM. This is one of them. I really like this card because it's so easy to use as in Magic the Gathering, there's a classic effect known as an Edict, which is an effect that just forces your opponent to sacrifice something. This card says each player defeats one of their units. Yes, but it doesn't check that you have a unit to defeat in the first place.
Yes, most rules will say resolve as much as you can. If you don't have a unit, well, I guess you don't have, and if you sequence your things accordingly.
Yep. So you can play this card early on. If your opponent plays like a even moderately problematic 4, you can just play this next turn and be like, okay, cool, get rid of it. And then play your own like 2-cost guy or deploy just something else on the board to keep the tempo up. It's so good. And later on in the game, when board states get gummy, you can pare down some of the cards that you want your opponent to not sacrifice and then leave them with a difficult decision. But I think this card is such good early game like pressure relief if you are playing a deck that wants to build to a little bit of a higher number, which a lot of these like ramp style decks do. And I think this card slots into all of them very, very nicely.
And like even imagine like you're going second and your opponent's going first. So they play some 2-drop, and it's some 2-drop that is valuable to them. You could literally just go to your turn, play this. Their tempo is totally gone. We're back to square one again.
Yeah, you can just reset your opponent's entire turn with this card, and I love it.
All right, let's see what I got up next. So that was my 7 is Sasha. So I had to put this on here because it's she's Dark Confidant, except better. But I think what makes this, the reason why this is on this list is because I love like trickery and weird things and things that you could kind of take advantage of the way rules work. And the big thing that makes this on this list is the fact that attack triggers trigger and resolve before you declare who you are attacking. And that I think makes or breaks this card, because you could reveal this card and you reveal like Placide. It's cost. So you reveal Placide and you get, he's an 8, right? Yep.
Yes, he's an 8.
You get, plus 8 power, which is insane. So now you can choose what you're going into. Or you could flip, a 1 cost something and then you're like, I guess I'm attacking you and hopefully you don't have a blocker. But being able to make that decision beforehand is cool, that you get that trigger and triggered ability there. And then just on top of it, she just draws you a card.
Yep. And she is just card advantage as a legend.
Yeah, it's just drawing 2 cards. And the only thing is drawing that card just has the risk of the crackback, but she has a lot of upside if you are able to. And if she is defeated, she's still gonna stick you on the way out by making you discard a card.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes or breaks this card is 100% the fact the way attack triggers work, because this card's always going to be a little bit of a gamble, but that attack trigger happening before you declare attacks takes so much of the risk out of this card and makes it so much better.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so number 7 is River.
I want to talk about River again.
All right, go for it.
Let's talk about River again.
He's much higher than yours.
I put him much higher because, and I think as we go up the list, you'll start to see some of the things that I am most excited to play. and you'll kind of sort of piece together the deck that I want to make a tech for. Yeah, so River obviously cheats things. I do think that second ability is actually really good because, especially if you're making blockers out of him, it helps to smooth out your draw. It finds sellable cards for you if you need them. It can find your late game threats if you need them. It puts those cards that you only want to see like in your opening hand, and it puts them right into your trash. And also, incidentally, if you have some sort of like small mill strategy, like I don't know, if you have an equipment or a gear say that cares about cards in the trash, I don't know what that would be. He facilitates kind of both sides of that a little bit. He's gear centric, and also he puts cards in the trash for you. He does a lot, and being able to cheat things into play and put them anywhere cannot be overstated because he just puts stuff wherever you want. The original version of this card didn't do that. It was only yellow. It had to be unequipped, and it was only on attack. And this card took all those restrictions off, and is much better for it. Comparing him from the original to now, I think is part of why he gets ranked so high on my list.
For sure. He is definitely a card that will probably see a lot of play. So that was 8. No, that was 7. Your 7. So let's see what my 7 was. You might have seen a little sneak peek as I was sneaking through to try to
I did catch this. I might have had a spoiler.
So Yorinobu Arasaka, this particular one, I love doing stuff for free. And the fact that he plays a unit from your hand or your trash.
Yeah, or.
And it has haste or adrenaline or whatever you want to call it that it can attack rival units this turn. I guess it's not adrenaline because adrenaline could attack regardless, but it can attack something. It can attack units this turn.
It's got that Sendai you text.
Yeah. And then on top of that, it's got, again, that first ability is not enough. There's another line of text underneath that says the first time an Arasaka unit is defeated each turn, draw a card. So although I have not necessarily come around to wanting to play like a full Arasaka themed deck, I'm more about the cheating stuff into play. The fact that there are a bunch of Arasakas that work well together, including a bunch of Arasakas at 9 power that would get buffed by Saburo.
There are so many Arasakas at 9.
It's just more synergy to support that little tagline. And so it's on the list. It's as high as it is because of the free cost, and it's there at all just because of everything all together. It's a good payoff for 7 eddies.
This card reminds me a lot of another Magic All-Star card in Bloodbraid Elf, in that it does one thing and then just you get another thing for free just because.
Yep.
And it also even kind of gives haste. The one thing that holds this card back for me, I do agree that this card is insanely good, though. Don't get me wrong. Is that there are not a lot of good Arasaka units at 4 or less power right now. There just aren't that many options, and so the defeat trigger doesn't. Yeah, 4 less cost. Sorry, yeah. There. I think there are only 4 as of the time of recording, and the only one that like has any real synergy with that defeat trigger is Augmented Negotiators, which is good. Your opponent discards a card, you draw a card. But I'm hoping we see another good Arasaka unit he can cheat out. And I'll like this card a lot better, but he is still super good. Cheating anything out, always worth considering.
All right, so that was number 7. This will be your number 6.
Yep.
Number 6 is Foot on the Hill.
Fool on the Hill is so good. 2 mana, draw 2, man. Like 2 Eddie, draw 2. It's just such a good card advantage engine. Your opponent kind of has a say in what you draw, but also, I mean, if your card's full of good cards, who cares, you know? They mill 2 cards, you draw 2 cards. If you're even playing a deck with, trash synergies, then your opponent has to consider, do I want these cards to be in their graveyard any more than I want them in their hand? And the decision gets even harder.
I mean, I've always enjoyed a good Fact or Fiction style card.
Yes.
Where I'm drawing cards one way or the other, and you might have a say, but like I'm still coming out ahead on cards.
Yeah, like you get a little input, but I'm going to draw 2. It's a 2 cost card that draws me 2 cards. That's such good tempo. And I had to try really hard to not put like every green card on this list as just a fun preview, because I really like so many of the green cards. I had to be like, no, don't do that.
Well, it's funny you mention that. It's funny you mention that because this was a consideration for me, and the thing that kept it off of my list, so it's not on mine. The thing that kept it off is the 3 Ram. Because you have to be firmly into green, and because like a 2 cost program, like that's my jam. But I really want to be kind of more in the blues and reds and maybe blue, red, green, but that's tough to do with a card like this that has that 3 ram restriction.
I understand that, but also I'm team green.
Yeah,
I was already team green before this card came out, so I was like, oh sweet, I just get to put this in the deck that I'm working on immediately, and like don't even have to think about it.
That's amazing. All right,
there's no cost.
What do I have next? I don't actually remember.
What do I have next?
So that was number 6, right? So number 6. Oh yeah, bootleg.
Yep.
And the only reason that this isn't higher is so bootleg Black Sapphire, sell the top card of your deck. If you control a gig with an even value and an odd value, draw 2 cards. This card is stupid good. If you have this in your opening hand and you play this on turn 2, you are so wildly ahead. It's not even close. The only thing that kept it from being higher is that the kind of deck that wants to play this, I'm just not good at playing. For our Magic folks out there, this is Tron. You're trying to just ramp into something big and then slam it and hope that's good. And that's just, that type of play style is fun, but like the nuances of how to best control things or what happens when it doesn't go your way. Like if you're drawing the nuts and you just, steamroll slam stuff and it's amazing, that's all well and good. But like, if you don't, that's tough. And so I feel like this card, if you're not playing it on turn 2, you're just selling it because it's too late at that point. And
turn 3, I think is the latest you can put this card down on the board and feel good about it. After that, you're pretty much just selling it.
For sure.
It's funny, I did not put this card on my list, but I have been a big champion of ramp style decks and this card. And I did not, in fact, put it on my list, but I think that's partially just because
I thought it'd be way higher on yours.
It is really good. I was trying to, I had a feeling you were going to put it on your list. And so I did a little bit of a metagame call.
Okay.
And I did not include it. But I do also think that the fail state of this card feels a lot worse. If you don't draw the 2 cards, spending your entire turn just for an Eddy is not nearly as good as an Eddy and also 2 cards. And then, sometimes that will happen.
And then like there's a parallel of this in Lorcana with Sail the Azurite Sea. But the difference is, yes, they're both turn 2 plays, but the difference is that card, Sail and Tipo, those are 2-cost cards. So if you get those later in the game, it's not that much of a downside to just play another 2-cost because they either draw a card or they put something into play, or it's a body to play. There's different versions of it, but the point is that they cost 2. So playing them later in the game is not super detrimental. If it's like turn 5, turn 6, I don't want to pay 5 to basically do nothing. Because even if I draw stuff, I used most of my Eddies already. The extra one I'm not going to be able to use till next turn. There's probably already a board state that's something that needs to be dealt with. So
you're spending your turn doing nothing functionally.
Yeah, it needs to be. You need to have this turn 2, turn 3, or you're just selling it.
Yep, hard mull for it. That's been my strategy in every deck it's in.
All right, so that was number 6. This is your number 5.
Number 5.
Ooh, yep.
Hanako Arasaka. I feel like you could have sensed this one was on the list somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I'm another big proponent of this card. On the subject of green cards that draw you cards, Hanako does exactly that. That's what I think the card's main function is. The swapping thing is nice. There's some tricks you can perform with it, but really, I like this card because it says at the start of your turn, draw 1 for each friendly value pair of gigs.
And if you're in green,
easy for green to assemble.
That's going to be a lot.
Green is good at making blockers. Green is good with quick effects. Green is good at readying things to defend them. Green is good at making value pairs. This card just, I think 9 times out of 10 will just draw you 2 cards a turn because you'll have so many pairs that your opponent just can't feasibly take all of them from you because you have blockers, because you have like an Overwatch, because you have so many things. Take control stops them from stealing gigs like that. Green is so good at just holding on to things and not letting go. And Hanako rewards you for doing that by giving you more things to hold on with.
For sure. All right. So that was number
You're
6.
On number 5.
So I'm going to my number 5. All right. So my number 5, Alt Cunningham. I love everything about this card.
Okay.
As soon as I saw it spoiled, we'll read out. So she's a 7-cost unit, enormous, 8 power. When a friendly equipped unit or legend is spent, draw 1. That may sound familiar because that sounds a lot like a net driver.
There are a lot of cards with that text on them.
Yeah. And so the other one is when a rival unit would steal a gig, I can discard a card equal to that gig's value, and then just like you don't steal it. And so again, I love to draw cards for weird things. Like incidentally, And a lot of this is why that NetDriver was in the honorable mentions, is because it's got
Mhm.
that incidental card draw that if you're in yellow, you're probably gearing up stuff, and that's going to happen just incidentally, a non-zero
Yeah.
number of times. You don't even have to kind of plan around it. It's just going to happen at some point. And then the second bit of text is, I mean, it's there. It's cool. It could make or break a
Mhm.
game. Like, if she's coming out on 7, you're probably playing Black Sapphire to kind of help smooth out your draws. But
Yep. Turn 3 this card.
and then when you get into turn 5, turn 6, and it's becoming really really close on if they steal one more, then that's going to either give them the edge, or now we're at parity, so we're going to go to overtime, and whoever went first
Mhm.
might have an advantage. Like, this is kind of like that fail safe stopgap, mixing up those things. But
Yeah.
the kind of like the last ditch effort of, no, you can't actually steal this, and discarding a card is a huge deal. But also, if that's the
Mhm.
difference of making or breaking a game, it is a may ability. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. I do agree that this card is a good, like, it kind of has multi-blocker in a sense if you think about it. But also I think could struggle against red pilots a little bit if they max out other gigs, because there are just some values this card can't match.
Hmm.
But that top ability really is all you need for this card, I think. The other one is just icing on the cake. Equipping a bunch of stuff and then drawing 4 cards, like,
Seems great.
how do you come back from that?
Yeah, especially if you got those little guys that search for gear when they attack. I
Oh, yeah,
forget the name of
sketchy
that.
Ripper Ducks.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I think it was one of the matches at the event. I saw someone that had 3 of them out, and
Yes.
it's they all were wearing something, and you go boom,
Mhm.
boom, boom, draw 3,
Just
easy
imagine,
peasy.
yeah, each one says draw 2 on it. Just,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
All right. So that was number 5. Your
Yep,
number
I'm on to number 4.
4. Oh yeah, yep.
Johnny Silverhand, Never Stop Fighting. You honestly, there's an argument this card should have been higher, but their personal bias got in the way.
Yep.
This card is nuts. Even if we just discount the bottom ability, the first time this unit wins a fight each turn, ready it
Yeah.
makes this card such a decision for your opponent. Because
Mhm.
if you attack them in the face and they're like, okay, I'm going to block, is that even worth it? Because they're just going to get to go again.
Yep.
They're just going to get to go again. And if it's 10 power, then you really have to think about, like, do I have 2 blockers to commit to this one card?
And
Am I willing to sacrifice both of them?
if I remember correctly, your number 10 card pairs with this really well. That was
Yes, it
the Mantis
does.
Blades.
That is, yeah, that's exactly 10. That's all it takes. 1 Mantis Blades, and Johnny is ready to start stealing 2 things at a time.
And I just
And then
love how silly it is that he just wins against all corpo units.
he just wins. He does just win. Like, even if like, I'm not even talking about that ability on, like, how good this card is, because the fact that he just readies and goes again is so powerful. If you attack an opponent's unit, like, this card almost functionally just reads this thing is unblockable.
Yeah, more or less.
Like, it does. But if you want to fight a unit, it gets even messier, because, like, if I let it through and you defeat my unit, you ready it and go again. So if I block, you at least have to commit to killing that unit a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's what you wanted and you go face. This card just, it has so much decision making for your opponent around it. I love it. It's going to be such a headache to have to deal with.
All right. We are professionals here in remembering what order the numbers are. The next one is 4. My 4. My 4
Yeah.
is Johnny Silverhand. So I knew that I had it on here, and I knew that it was left. I didn't remember what spot it was in. So
honestly,
funny.
this is the highlight of it. This is the highlight of the podcast for me.
Yeah.
Exactsies.
And the funny thing here is, so I think this might be the only one that we have in common, at the same spot. But yeah. So the thing that I love most about this is, and I know you don't play Lorcana, but this is basically Scar Vicious Cheater. Now that's a big old fat body in Lorcana. He's a 6/5. He has the equivalent of haste, and he basically says during your turn, whenever he kills another character, whenever he banishes another character, ready it, and he can do it again. So the difference here is Johnny, it seems like they might have fixed some of the brokenness where it says the first time this unit wins a fight each turn, whereas Scar, you could just, machine gun down a whole board if that's small enough, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that I put that on there because I'm like, oh, this is Scar. I love that card in Lorcana because you can just, just mow them all down. But it's definitely a fun one.
This card, I do want to add that I didn't touch on. This card is splashable. It's 2 red ram. You can put this in any red deck, and it costs 6. This card is aggressively costed all over the place, and I do not want to be sitting across from it.
For sure. All right. Number 3. So we're getting into the top 3.
Yep.
You have Placide.
He's back.
You put him way higher.
I put him way higher. The reason Bootleg Black Sapphire Show didn't make the cut was kind of the fail state we talked about. But this is the kind of card that you are building a Bootleg Black Sapphire Show / like Relic Reanimate deck for. I just think the tempo that this card brings is unparalleled. Because like Atom Smasher kills everything, and that includes your stuff. But Placide gets rid of one thing, but he gets rid of their best thing, and he does it every single turn. Because typically, if you build your deck around Placide, you have no shortage of programs or ways to draw them. And so if I know you're on Placide, my game plan becomes, when you put it on the field, what do I do?
Yeah.
How do I because he's hard to block because you just remove their blockers. He's big, so he's not easy to kill. And the game becomes like deal with him or lose the game in most of the scenarios that I've seen him put on the field. And I think that for that reason, that's why he ended up so high on my list, because he basically warps the game around him until he's gone.
All right. So my number 3 is number 2. All right, hold up. We're professionals here. I'm going to check to make sure that we label this properly. So I got my 2, that's my 4, that's my 5, that's my 6, that's my 7, that's my 8, that's my... Those are both 8. Anyway, so we're just going to keep on going on. And we're going to...
Listen, I was an art major, not a math major. I can't,
you know what?
You can't expect me to count.
Hey, I should be counting, but you know what? They're in the same order. It's fine. We're going to talk about number 2, which is Judy. And Judy, like this card... the only reason that the legend is not
talking
here,
about cheating costs.
Yeah, the only reason that the legend is not here is that the legend is good, but this is insane. It just says pay 1 and spend herself.
Yep.
Play the top card of your deck for free. That is insanity. I mean, you are in triple blue, so that does kind of limit what you could do, but that could also be a Placide, or it could be some unknown future undisclosed giant blue program. Who knows? But the idea here is that I mean, I love Judy. She's my favorite character in the game. And the fact that she just is like, oh, I'm gonna look at this top card and let's just play for free. Why not? Because she has that kind of power to manipulate reality. And I love that so much. And so I had to put her at my number 2 spot. Because I also need to get my hands on this exact version. And what's funny is I realize that the image version of this doesn't have the gold text on the name, because we saw the real version live, and it does not.
They got that gold text on him in person.
Yeah. So
what's nice about this card too is that you're not obligated to play the top card. You can just draw it. So like if it's like a reboot optics or some kind of quick effect that you'd rather have on your opponent's turn, just put it in your hand. Is it something you want to sell? Put it in your hand. You're not required to play the top card. You can just draw it. So like it does everything. It does both things.
You might notice a theme of a lot of my choices are draw extra cards, put extra cards in your hand, or play things for free.
Yes, all right, all classic staples.
Let's go over to yours, which I think is now your number 2.
I believe we're on my number 2, which I actually have forgotten.
It's Sandevistan.
Yeah. No, this was my number 1. Splicey was my number 2.
Oh, okay. So we did mess up the order. We're off by a little bit. So so this is your number 1.
My number 1 card. This is my favorite card in the game, bar none. I love this card. Because it's kind of in the same vein of like River. It does a little bit of everything. Sure, you have to be in double green, but this was the card. This was the reason I was in double green. This is the thing that I like doing. We talked about Sasha earlier. This is a fantastic way to protect Sasha. It's a fantastic way to attack with the blocker and ready it. It's a fantastic way to attach it to a legend to get like a rebuy on something like Goro Takamura Vengeful Bodyguard. If you just need extra eddies on your opponent's turn for quick effects, it's also good for that. It does everything, and it does it so well. If you put this on a card with Overwatch, it readies again. You can Overwatch something down on your opponent's turn and your turn. You can attack with the Overwatch unit and also have the Overwatch for it. It does everything. This card is so flexible and so good that if I have to sell this card, it's because I am just desperate to play something. Because otherwise, I absolutely refuse to sell this card for any reason, because it's just that good.
Yeah, it is deceptively good because, and again, I think you and I are also painted by the fact that this saw a big change compared to the Alpha Kit version.
Yes, night and day difference, honestly.
But what this does now as a utility is so much more valuable, I think, because it's so much, there's so many more ways to use and abuse it. I mean, just even both of us had River on here, River Ward.
Yep.
If he's wearing
also
a
let you
stand,
cheat 2 things with River. Yep.
Yeah, why not? Unfortunately, it doesn't let it cheat itself in. But again, that's
no, that is that's fair. This card is already good as is. Letting it be 2 would just, I think, break this card in half.
Now, so that means I have 1 card left, and I'm curious if you can guess what that is.
Genuinely, I'm not sure.
No idea whatsoever. When you see it, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I can see that." It is, drum roll, Lizzy Wizzy.
Oh yeah.
It is
right.
Snapcaster Mage.
Another card that I avoided putting on my list because I figured it was going to be somewhere and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, no, the only thing, I mean, this is, I'm going to be, if I'm playing something in blue, I'm probably playing 4 of these. Or no, 3 of these. Play sets 3.
Yeah.
And the only thing that keeps this from being possibly the greatest card ever printed is that it does limit the programs to 3. But you can play, so it says on play, you can play a program that costs 3 or less from your hand or your trash. So it's almost even better than Snapcaster Mage, because Snapcaster Mage, you can only, it gives flashback to something in your graveyard, but you still have to play it. Whereas this one, it just plays it for you for free. And it does a similar, instead of exile it, you bottom deck it, but it allows you to play something twice. And so that is just like the best thing that I want to be doing. And it did make me go through the website, kind of searching through all of the programs that cost 3 or less. And there are some good ones that I would definitely appreciate being able to play twice.
One of my favorite things in like when I've been looking at like blue tempo lists is Chrome Reverie, target your guy, Lizzy Wizzy, do it again.
Yeah.
Or even Chrome Reverie and then Lizzy and target something else. Like this card is super flexible. It's there's so many things you can do with it. There's so many programs at 3 that are good. So many removal spells in 3 that are good. It's very flexible. Also could be used to draw 2 cards again with Fool on the Hill. So like it has infinite use cases, and it's a blocker. That's just a nice bonus.
A blocker is just there to be a blocker, because like she's not going to be attacking with that only 2 power.
Rarely.
But she's there to do what Snapcaster did, which is get in there, let you play something twice, let you play, let you double the value of one of your spells, and then just kind of sit there and be annoying. And if you pair this, I mean, because she's only got the 2 RAM, she's splashable in any color. So if you are in something like a green blue and you're piling that up with a bunch of other removal effects, like I can't tell you how many times, going back to my Magic roots, I played Splinter Twin. And I can't tell you how many times a single Snapcaster Mage has won me a game, because I'm just sitting there smacking them with a single Snapcaster and they don't have any blockers because I keep killing all their stuff. And that's what she can do, is if you're taking out all their other stuff, she is an innocuous threat, because once she kind of does her thing, she does her thing. And then just being a blocker is a bonus. So it's just all around just my favorite card of the entire set. And I need to get 1 million copies of this card.
On the subject of Splinter Twin, we did directly ask if they were going to make a Splinter Twin card at Gen Con. So we're trying to recreate the deck piece by piece. It might happen.
I told him, I was like, hey, we need to have a gear that when you put it on a unit, you can spend that unit to then make a copy of the unit that enters and then readies it and gives it adrenaline too, just for good measure.
And then it defeats at the end of turn.
And defeats at the end of turn. What's funny is like, because of the gig system, like, it's good, but it's not a guaranteed win, because you can take all their gigs, but if it's not,
then you have to pass.
You still have to pass the turn, and then they can just take them all back, and you just lost all your copies. But an interesting thing that may happen in the future, because I know that there is at least one fan on the dev team that I'm aware of, and he's the person who designed this card.
Yep, you got one person in your corner. That's all it takes, honestly. I think these were some good lists. I'm honestly disappointed in myself that I didn't assume this was going to be the number 1 card, because I did assume you were going to put it on the list somewhere.
Oh, it began at number 1, and I had to fill in everything else.
That's exactly what happened with me. I was like, Sandevis stands number 1.
Yep.
What else? Now what are we doing? Now what are we talking about?
All right. So I think that was a very professionally well done, perfectly timed. Everything went great section,
Mhm.
and it is now our time to move on to our next one, which is attack and react.
Yep. So last week, our question was, what color combination interests you the most? I pretty clearly established myself as a big green, blue fan, but we wanted to see what you all had to say. And the comment that I wanted to focus on was from Ripstot that says, as a tier 7 Johnny Pledgey, I absolutely love some of the recent reveals. I didn't plan on playing part red, but at this point, I don't think I can avoid it. Maybe I'll try tricolor. Yeah, Johnny Silverhand, both the legend and the unit, especially the unit, have really, really sold me on red. I've been trying to also brew up some tricolor stuff with utilizing Pepe. That's my big pet project is making that card into a combo deck. And so I agree that red probably has a home in that. Just I think Johnny almost single-handedly makes red worth playing, I think.
For sure. And then I've definitely been kind of like in my head just theory crafting some of the 3-color deck ideas. And the
Mhm.
biggest hurdle that I get into is like, oh, there's these cool cards. Oh, but they're 4 RAM. Oh, there's this cool card.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's 3 RAM. And one of the ones that I kept running into was Brigitte. Because you can't put her in if
Mhm.
unless you're double blue. So things like that are definitely interesting. And I think that that's a really good testament to like the design behind the RAM idea in the first place, because it's not just going to be a pile of the best cards. Like you have to make these kind of give and take decisions on what color are you, not just what color are you playing, but how committed are you to each of those colors, because that determines
Yeah.
what you can and can't play.
Yeah, but this week's question is already we talked about this a little in advance. Going to be a bit of a back and forth. Should Cyberpunk TCG feature sideboards? Now, I know you have some thoughts on this, so I want you to go first. I want to
Okay.
hear your opinion before I talk about mine.
I'm a hard no. I'm a hard no on this because um, I played Magic and Magic has sideboards, but for the
Mhm.
last 3 years I played Lorcana. And the reason why Magic needs sideboards is because you have a lot of dead cards in your hand. There are like if you can't play your deck with tech cards because you can't get rid of them in a meaningful way. Um, but in Lorcana, if you have a tech card and that card's inkable, you just ink it. In here, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily play a unit as a tech card. I mean, maybe there will be at some point. But a lot of programs or gear and things that could be considered like a tech piece against something, or maybe you want more removal, those are things you can just sell. So if you want those pieces, you include 1 or 2 of them. And then if you draw them, great, you play them. If not, then you sell them and you move on. So in my eyes, if you are using a resource system that is based around the fact that you can sell your cards or play your cards as a resource, like your sideboard is effectively the 15 to 20 slots that otherwise would have been lands. Like that's that in my eyes.
So yes, I'm gonna represent the other side here a little bit because I would like to see some semblance of a sideboard. I don't think we need necessarily the full 15 cards, but one thing I like about the idea of printing units that have sort of hating effects is that you can get away with more on a unit because they're more vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Riot Shield. Riot Shield is a tech card. It's an anti go solo card, and it's easy to remove if you put it on a unit because that unit can be attacked and killed or used as a blocker because Riot Shield gives blocker. But if you put it on a legend, it's much harder to get rid of. Like we don't currently have a clean way to remove something like that off the board. And so putting hate effects on a unit lets you print more restrictive effects, which can be a nice another direction you can pull to keep like known quantity decks in check
Mm-hmm.
without necessarily having to ban the cards, because that's a lot less fun. If you can work out a solution, that's always a better way to go about it. So I think that letting units be tech pieces means that you kind of have to have somewhere to put them,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to like rock up with a dead card in your deck, as we kind of talked about. That's a major feels bad, and it makes cards like that not really see any play. But I'm curious where everybody else weighs in on the side of this. So please debate us in
Comment
the
below.
comments. I'm sure we'll both be there to defend our sides of the argument. So.
For sure, 100%. And I feel like we're already running a little bit long, so let's just jump right into this end of turn where we can rant about some other stuff.
Oh boy.
All right, so welcome to the end of turn, where we talk about something from outside of the world of Cyberpunk. And today is something that kind of hits near and dear to kind of both our hearts and a lot of the people in the creator space community in general, which is some of the changes that happened recently or will be happening in the coming year to the YouTube kind of monetization program, the YouTube partner program. And so the changes were that now, in order to become monetized, you have to have 1,000 subs, which is a thing that's already existed. But
Yeah,
now,
that's been true.
But now the view hours and or the views for shorts have skyrocketed. So you need to have 8,000 view hours in, I think it's a 1 year period, which honestly, like if you're churning out content, that's doable.
Yeah, but that's still twice as much as it used to be, right? It was 4,000 before, and now it's double.
It is twice. And then the shorts also doubled from, it was 10 million to 20 million. So if you're making shorts, like one of the big things is a lot of people are saying, like, if you're making long form content on YouTube, which is like my jam, that's what I do.
Yeah.
There's no point to even bother making a short, because I don't know. And if you're not in that program yet, like, to get to 20 million is just insane. And I think it's 20 million. It's not even a year. It's a 20 million in a significantly shorter period of time. And so I get why they did it. And I think it's going to it's going to suck for smaller creators who are trying to reach that threshold. And I know that your account is almost there. And now, but I think you should have enough view time, hopefully, to get there. But like, it's one more hurdle that just doubles it.
It's just another roadblock to overcome. It's such a difficult position, especially if you were like getting close to just watch the boulder just roll right back down the hill.
I mean, the good news is
watch it go.
I don't think it starts until February of next year.
Okay.
So there's some time to do that. And
I have a chance.
I believe if I predict the future correctly, this episode should be on your channel. So hopefully that helps out. And I wrote some notes in the thing that says there might be a silver lining of like clearing out some of the slop garbage. But honestly, I don't know, like slop is really good for people like monetizing. It's not a good thing, but it is an effective thing of making money. And it's like insultingly easy to do. And
I was gonna say, the problem is,
it sucks that for creators like us and a lot of the other great people in the TCG space, like making stuff is hard, and doing some AI slop is super easy. And I'm guessing that this is designed to try to combat against the AI slop garbage. But like, this is nothing. If you're churning out 100 videos, and they're all auto edited, like text, like generate the text, use the text to generate a voice, use the voice to generate like an auto thing of stock footage. Like, I don't know. But all of this garbage aside, it's also kind of like a little, it's like our Trojan horse to also talk and complain about the algorithm in general, because it just feels like a lot of things are just hurting creators. And it's a thing that I've personally noticed, a thing that a lot of people in the creator space, no matter what size you are, have noticed, where like your numbers are down. Everybody's numbers are down. Nobody's numbers are up. And a lot of that has to do with the way that videos are served. And so I don't know if a lot of whoever's watching right now knows, but the way that kind of like whether or not you see a video is no longer in any way tied to whether you are subscribed to a person or not. It's almost entirely based on whatever your recent watch history is. So like the example I like to bring up is because I recently bought some new cameras. So I watched like 2 camera review videos on the R50Vs, and suddenly my entire feed was just nothing but camera videos, like nonstop. And then recently it's been all like music videos from 20 or like 10 or 15 years ago. And it's like, I mean, I guess I want to watch it, but also like I want to watch the stuff that I subscribe to. And what happens is, if a creator puts out some video and you don't click on it, or you don't click on it and watch like a decent amount of it, it's going to be like, oh, your subscriber base, your audience, your core people that watch your stuff don't like this video, so we're just not going to serve it anymore. And then if another video comes out and maybe they don't click on it, then they're gonna be like, oh, maybe this viewer who used to watch all of your stuff is not interested in your channel anymore, regardless of whether or not they might have liked a video you make, a week from now. But that person is no longer going to see your videos. They're just not going to
Yeah.
get served them. And I've noticed this. There've been a bunch of channels that I remember watching like frequently, and I just maybe skipped a couple of them that I wasn't very interested in, and they're just gone from my timeline. I
Mhm.
have to physically like physically search for them and type in like their name and look at their thing, and I'm like, oh, they put up 15 videos since the last one I saw. And so it's just, and these are not small accounts. These are accounts with like a million or several million subscribers, and I'm
Yeah.
just not seeing their stuff. And so it's just a frustrating thing for creators to have to deal with. And in our space, like, I'm not that big. I mean, I'm pretty decent size, but I'm small beans compared to the big creators. But if you're not even at that 1,000, like, that's just one more hurdle, as you're having to fight this algorithm where it's not just about uh if people like your video. It's there are people that would probably like your video that will never even see it. And that's the hardest part.
Yeah, I watched like a handful of short, like old viral posts, and then my entire feed was just like rammed full of them. And it was so bad that I couldn't find anything else in it, that I had to just like go like not interested, don't recommend on like 20 videos, and then like refresh to like essentially clear my feed. And like I say, it was so bad, and it was overwhelming. So yeah, it's
And
a
then
rough time to be doing this.
I mean, like I said, we definitely don't do this for the money.
No, yeah,
I mean, for full
I definitely
transparency,
don't.
an episode here on a good day might make us like $4. So the best thing you can do is, if you like our stuff, just watch.
Yeah.
Subscribe or not, like, whatever. Hit the bell or not, whatever. Like, those things don't even necessarily relate. The most important and most effective thing that you can do is comment on a video, engage with it, and just watch it. Actually watch it.
Yeah.
And if there is a creator that you like and you want to support, the best thing you can do is, if they put out a video and you see it in your feed, click on it and watch it from start to finish. Because YouTube doesn't even necessarily care about views as much as they care about watch time. And if you click on a video, watch it for 5 seconds and then close it, that's actually like the worst thing you could do to a video, because it's going to basically tell YouTube, oh, this person is being maybe misled by the thumbnail, and it's not a video that's worth watching, so we're just not going to serve it anymore. And I mean, there's a hundred other reasons for why a video may or may not be served. And one of the examples I use is with my Lorcana videos. I do rules videos every single set, and those are like bangers. Though for me, I mean, maybe if you're a giant channel, whatever, but like those bangers for me, I mean, I'm looking at 7, 8, 10, 12, 15,000 views on these videos. And then I put one out after kind of like this change and shift and thing in algorithms. And after a couple of videos that were maybe less successful, and I'm like, this is a banger. This is an amazing one. It's going to be awesome. And it hit like 3,000 views. And I cannot in any way understand why. And you could watch the graph where it's like going up and up and up, and then just suddenly it just dies. It just refuses to serve that video to anybody,
Yeah.
and they just don't see it. And then literally the next set, I put another video out, and boom, 8,000 views. So I don't know. YouTube is dumb, but it's a beast you have to deal with. And luckily for people like us and a lot of people in the creator space, like, we do this because we love it. And
Yeah.
if you want us to keep doing this and keep supporting whatever creators you are, the best thing you can do, honestly, is just click on their stuff and watch it.
Every video costs me money, so I have no expectation on an ROI.
Yeah.
It's a hobby first and foremost, and just an outlet for me to talk about this and have a space for everybody to talk about the game. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, like for me personally, like we've talked about this. I don't know if I've actually mentioned this publicly or anything, but like, I literally went to school for media production like 15 years
Mhm.
ago, and I've never really been able to do anything with it. And so now that I kind of have the opportunity to have a channel to talk about stuff, to make videos about stuff that I like, because the fact that it's about card games just kind of came up randomly and like not intentionally. And it was more like, oh, I'm just recording some games and posting them. And I'm like, well, I can't not edit them. And then that evolved into, oh, now I'm going to make it like a presentation, and now I'm going to make it like a show. I'm going to make it like a thing that is a piece of entertainment that people are going to want to watch. And then all of these things are just an outlet for creativity and fun and expressing how much I enjoy something and how much I want to bring positive attention to that thing.
I have a similar background. I come from a similar degree. The channel was just similar an excuse. I've been an avid card game player for a long time, so it was just a new outlet for me when I got bored of Magic to come talk about a game that I was actually excited about instead, and just be me in the comfort of my own home and let people watch me say dumb things and make dumb jokes.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all of that, please make sure to smash that like button and hit the subscribe and the bell and the ding, and none of that really matters. So just thank you for watching all the way to the end if you did so, because that's honestly like the most valuable thing you could do. And then comment down below with your attack react or a question that you might want to see in the future. Anyway,
which one of us do you think is wrong?
I am very clearly right. We will see you all in the next one. Have an awesome time. And man, we got the release coming up soon. Cards should be in hand very soon. Maybe not next week, maybe not the week after, but hopefully the week after that.
I think we have some interesting episodes on the deck, honestly.
For sure. All right, and we will see you in one of those next ones very soon. Bye.